And we're back. It's time to ascend to the upstairs. I'm curious why there's that blimp.
Much of what we know about early man comes from burial sites, but not without a price. Eternal life was the sustaining ideology for many ancient cultures, and they went to great lengths to prevent their dead from being violated. Venture on if you will, but beware the curse of the tomb.
Buried deep within tomb number 49 in the Moche Valley, the 13 Ixupi in this exhibit lay undisturbed for centuries, where Moche shaman had buried them in sealed magical vessels. As responsible archaeologists and researchers, we should leave them, the actual F, where they were. I mean, we must respect the power of the evil entity sealed in these vessels and warn all who enter, never break their seals and release the Ixupi into the world. Somebody didn't listen. Our pamphlet says green. Let me back up a little bit. You can see the symbol here. Now, where's the? It's not bright as day outside. This has to be backlit. Anyway. Possessor of lost wisdom and guardian over the city of the dead, the Sphinx stands watch over the greatest tombs ever built, the pyramids. Search, and you may learn wisdom from these ancient lips.
Of this pharaoh and his queen be placed forever in shame on the columns of Ra.
O wretched soul who disturbs this eternal rest, may exist in despair for all eternity. Anubis, chief deity to whom prayers at an Egyptian burial are made, was the originator of embalming and funerary rites, and used to invoke the curse of the tomb you are about to enter. That could have been phrased a little better, I think. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Whew. I got out just in time. Alright.
Care to refresh your memory?
Alright, this is the pharaoh, and then this is the queen. Let's see if we can do this. I'm still hearing the cloth. This is becoming a consistent bug. Where like the music or the sound effects are not not going
The
away.
heretics that lay beyond have driven out all of them.
Yeah, it's still there. Possibly a square opening? Hard to tell. And then that picture.
Care to
I have to look that
refresh
one up.
your memory?
Electric. Alright, this is one of those self-contained puzzles. Puzzles in this game fall into one of two categories. The kind of scavenger hunt variety. I think that was right. And then the ones like this where you have the means at your disposal. So everything is self-contained. These are the true puzzles. The other stuff is more like clue finding, scavenger hunting kind of stuff.
Death comes uneasily to the mind of man. Burial customs throughout the world arise from the belief that the survivors can secure life after death for the deceased. You will find here that man has conceived of many ways to honor the dead.
These funerary bundles of the Paracas Indians of Peru denote a vast difference in wealth. Each richly embroidered bundle tells a story of wealth and includes lavish personal possessions. The poor were buried in plain clothes. Both wrappings covered a basket with a body in it. Aha. Men and women of wealth and position were given ship burials and were provided with food and armor for their trip to the underworld. Red? I believe that's right. That's right. July 10th, 1980, New York City. Since I am moving tomorrow, I've decided to record my thoughts in this journal. I will miss the view of the museum from my apartment window, but Dad says he needs a less stressful job. July 15th, Mount Pleasant. While I am not exactly excited about this small town, it does have its advantages over NYC. The air is very clean, so my telescope will work great, and it's quiet. For Dad's sake, I will try to think of more. July 30th. This town has a really awesome museum, Professor Windelmat's Museum of the Strange and Unusual. The sign says it's opening soon. Can't wait. August 8th. Dad says the museum will never open. I don't believe it. He says Professor Windelmat once taught at the same college Dad is teaching in, but now he is some kind of eccentric. August 20th. Not looking forward to school next week. That means Beth's progress report was only a month in. She was already failing. So she basically never went to gym. Basically. I'm not even sure those numbers are physically possible. It's close. It's pushing it. I finally saw the professor. He looks really cool, like he just got off an archaeology dig. August 29th. School is as bad as I thought. Everyone here's a bunch of hicks. There's this girl, Beth, who's kind of cute, and says she knows Professor Windlenut. I'm not sure I believe her. Dad says he's a recluse, not likely to know a high school girl. September 7th. Turns out that Beth really doesn't know the professor just a lot about him. She says he has some secret way to get into the museum, but nobody's figured it out yet. I followed him home from the post office yesterday and saw him go into the museum. She was right. He didn't go to the front door. He went to a gazebo and did something that made a little bridge come up, then crossed the bridge, then went into the ground. Cool. September 13th. Dad said I had to get a job. Bummer. He said kids in small towns get in trouble without jobs, so I'm working at the bookstore. Good news. I followed the professor again and I figured out the layout of the museum grounds. I think I could figure out how to get in. Beth has given me all sorts of advice. I think she likes me. She keeps hanging around. It's hard to follow someone else when you're being followed yourself. September 17th. Beth keeps hanging around. I hate it when Dad thinks she's my girlfriend. Invites her over for dinner. This job has turned out to be okay after all. I finally met the professor face to face. He came into the bookstore to see if we had a book on some African tribe. He seemed to recognize me. I asked him lots of questions. He was pretty cool, but secretive. He kept staring at me. He did say he was going to Africa tomorrow. With him gone, I'm going to try and get into the museum. I have most of it figured out. Should I get rid of Beth or take her with me? She is hard to get rid of. December 26th. Tonight's the night. Dad is attending some kind of lecture. I told him we were going to a movie in case he comes home early. We means I decided to take Beth with me. She might come in handy. She is smart, and she has a rope ladder we can use to get over the wall. She says she uses it to sneak out at night. Here's the schedule. 7, leave. 7:45, climb over a wall. 8:10, raise stone step bridge. What are you doing in there for 25 minutes? 8:25, enter stone. And then for 15 minutes walking across that bridge? 8:30 to 10:30, explore the museum. 11:15, home. 11:30, Dad comes home. In the museum. This is a very odd museum. There are a lot of rooms we can't even get into, and puzzles everywhere. We found this one exhibit that had some ancient pots. There's a warning outside not to disturb them, but Beth said she didn't believe the sign, and opened one of them anyway. There was a pretty cool noise, and it felt like cold wind coming out of the pot. I thought I saw green electrical charges coming out of it, but Beth said it was from negatively charged ions or something. I helped her open the rest. It was pretty neat. If you only have 2 hours, you're writing this stuff at home, not inside the museum. Also, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, you're probably going to have the respect for something and not touch it. Regardless of if you believe the story about the spirits or not, you're not going to be touching ancient pottery. Something horrible happening. Grotesque things coming from everywhere. Can't find Beth. We got separated. There are so many secret passages. She could be anywhere. What are those things? Beth is dead. Found her body in the basement. Those pots, they're not in the exhibit anymore. I keep finding them all over the museum. I think I have to find them all and use them on those creatures. If only I could find a way out. All the doors are locked. Maybe they won't find me here. They found you. I can't close it. That's that missing Jade skull. Looks like Jade is the one that got to him. This lion celebrates the life and status of a great African hunter and will carry his remains to the afterworld. Jewelry and money will also accompany the hunter on his journey. To a Hindu, cremation is considered a sacred obligation to the dead. The soul is set free, and the fire god Agni takes it up to heaven. In India, it often takes place near a river, if possible the Ganges, which is sacred and has the ability to cleanse sins. The Hindus of Bali place the dead body of a loved one in this animal-shaped sarcophagus before it is consumed by fire. Food and personal items accompany the dead on their trip to heaven. The entire structure is burned, including platform and tower. Here we go. You know what? I'm gonna come back to this because I just realized I think it's been a bit of a long run here, long enough to call it. This is, in my opinion, casually the hardest puzzle in the game. This is one that I'll talk about it next time. Okay, bye.